First up, I want to talk about poet Nikki Giovanni, okay? So first up, we got poet and black militant activist Nikki Giovanni. All right, so she passed away today at the age of 81 years old. First off, my condolences to her family and her friends and all her supporters. Now, respectfully, I wasn't a huge fan of hers. I was not a huge fan of hers. I'm sure she was a nice person and a good person towards her loved ones. But as far as her politics and her opinions on how black folks should operate, I thoroughly disagree. I mean, first off, she was a feminist. And she adamantly believed that women should run the community. Also, she was a strong advocate for the alphabet mafia, okay? Politics-wise, she was a strong advocate, which I am strongly opposed to. Now, quick disclaimer, being opposed to the political agenda of the alphabet mafia doesn't mean I'm opposed to people who may identify as LGBTQ, okay? I just disagree with their political stances, and I think that they have been extremely harmful to black society agenda-wise. Now, lastly, just like most leftists and liberal factions, I believe she delved way too close to communism, socialism, and Marxism. To sum it all up, I believe she was used as a tool by the left to help exploit black society into what it is today. Now, whether she did this willingly or unwillingly, that's a whole different conversation. But even if we go back to that classic conversation between her and James Baldwin, the agenda was always there. What do I mean? Let's take a trip in memory lane real quick. All right, let's take a trip down memory lane. Give me a second, I'll make this video up. All right. All right, here we go.
So everybody's jiving. Let's jive on that level.
If I love you, I can't lie to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Also, let me know if I'm getting an echo from any of these videos. Please let me know if I'm getting an echo from the videos. Hit a 1 if the video is good. Hit a 2 if it's not. All right, let's go.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. When Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course you'll lie to me, because I don't even want to care.
All right, how's it sound now? See, we got a 2 in the audience saying we got an echo. Let me know how it's going now.
What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you the way I treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell because I love you. I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man? So everybody's...
So, okay, here we go. So she says, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask for a black man? Okay, so the problem here is very simple. You have Nikki Giovanni and you have James Baldwin, right? Two people having a very important conversation about love between black men and black women. There's only one problem. There's only one problem here. Neither one of these people is heterosexual.
Ain't nobody bending me over.
Oh, so you doing the bending?
That's basically what the conversation should be. It shouldn't be all this lie to me and all this. Who's doing the bending? There's like, and this is what I like to reference as the starting point for the decline of black society. This conversation right here. They shove these two people down our throats and their communist ideals. Once again, I'm not trying to disrespect Nikki Giovanni. I think that she may have been doing this because she thought this was what's best. So I'm not here to shit on Nikki Giovanni. I'm just saying she was wrong. Another example. Do y'all remember when Bill Cosby went on that rant about the state of black people? This was years ago, maybe like 2004, 2005. He went on a rant about black people. He said what needed to be said, but a lot of black people took offense to it, right? If you don't remember, I want to take a jog down memory lane. I want to play a couple minutes of that for you so you can be refreshed, because that's gonna be a part of my next point, okay, about the rhetoric that came from Nikki Giovanni. All right, so give me a second. Let's get to that Bill Cosby interview. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. So here's the Bill Cosby interview.
In the face with rocks and in this deal, economic and lower.
Everybody talking.
All right, real quick. All right, hopefully the audio's good. All right, got the video up. Let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the lower economic and lower middle economic people are not holding up their end in this deal. In the neighborhood that most of us grew up in, parenting is not going on.
Now tell me already, what is he saying wrong here? Because he's not lying. Parenting is not going on. That's the last thing going on in the black community, at least from what I can see in most of these inner cities where a lot of black folks live. There's no parenting going on at all. Let's continue.
Buying things for the kid. $500 sneakers. For what? And won't buy or spend $250 on Hooked on Phonics.
So far, I don't see no problem with what he's saying. You'll spend $500 on some sneakers, but you won't spend $250 on Hooked on Phonics. Let's go.
Now look, I'm telling you, it's not what they're doing to us. It's what we're not doing. 50% dropout. And look, we're raising our own ingrown immigrants. Brown versus the Board of Education. These people who marched and were hit in the face with rocks and punched in the face to get an education. And we got these knuckleheads walking around, don't want to learn English. I know that you all know it, but I just want to get you as angry as you ought to be. I can't even talk the way these people talk. Why you ain't where you is, go where? I don't know who these people are. And I blamed the kid until I heard the mother talk. And then I heard the father talk. This is all in the house.
Well, so
All right, so now I know a lot of y'all, when it came out, y'all took that speech the wrong way. But at the end of the day, this man was spot on. And you would think that Miss Nikki Giovanni, being an older woman at the time, I think she might have been in her 60s, if I'm not mistaken, you would think she would be able to understand what Cosby was trying to say. But no. You got to remember, Nikki Giovanni represents that black wave of feminists or feminism that was the start of the fall of black society. She represents that new wave of black women who had this crazy ass mindset. All right? This is the mindset that she represented. Right here, give me a second. Boom.
Raise your hand if you're married. None of you are married. Raise your hand if you would like to be married to your baby's father. 1. The rest of you who don't plan to get married, why don't you plan to get married? I'd like to know that.
You already have your child to think about, and then a whole family to care for. You know, it's a lot of responsibility, and then you don't want the commitments.
I wouldn't want no man holding me down because I think I can make it as a single parent.
But don't you think you might need help in raising that baby from a man?
Not really. I didn't have a father. My father wasn't in the home, so you know it really, male figures are not substantially important in the family.
That's where it started. Now you gotta remember, Nikki Giovanni herself was a single mother who refused, in her own words, who refused to marry her child's father. As a matter of fact, she always emphasized never marrying him because she couldn't afford it. See, that's the start of the ass backwards thinking of some black women. So, you go out, you have a baby by a random man that you don't love, you intentionally create a broken home, and your only excuse is that you can't afford a husband. But always, to my point, look at her reaction to Bill Cosby's speech. All right, I'm gonna play her reaction to what Bill Cosby had to say. It's typical baby mama bullshit. Emotional responses, insults, and excuses. And zero accountability. Once again, all I'm doing is pointing things out. I have nothing but respect for this woman. She was well loved and well liked. But we gotta tell the truth and shame the devil. Her message was wrong. Because black women adapted this message, and look where we are now. And I'm not saying it's all black women's fault, but I'm saying this part of the game can definitely be blamed on black women. It is what it is. All right, so I want to show you what she had to say about Bill Cosby. All right, and the reaction to his speech.
I just want to mention this. Somebody said, well, damn, I thought I'd get some poetry. I want to read a poem, but I want to say this one other last thing.
All right, y'all, let me know if the audio is good. Make sure this thing ain't echoing. All right, let's go.
I just have to because nobody else is speaking of crazy Negroes. Will somebody, that's the truth. Will somebody please hospitalize Bill Cosby?
Now you see that. Bill Cosby had valid concerns about the black community, and off the break, instead of challenging his ideas, she calls him a crazy Negro, says he needs to be put in the crazy house. She can't combat what Bill Cosby had to say about the state of the community. Why? Because if she combated it, then she would have to admit that a certain demographic in the community is steering us in the wrong direction. She can't admit it. But let's go.
Now that's sad. I mean, watching Bill, you know, black people, I don't know, I mean, I'm not gonna deal with any white people in the room, y'all are exempt from this. But you know, we ate that Jell-O, and we did. And that mighty fine pudding, whatever he was doing with that, we would go in to have our pictures made and we would demand Kodak paper to help that Negro out. And then he's gonna turn around and tell me I'm a bad mother? I'm not buying that. He's gonna tell me that I've done something wrong because I've tried to give my kid what every other kid has, because I've tried to do.
All you have to do is look at the results. I hate the fact that we can't tell them anything. All you have to do is look at the result. And that's what Bill Cosby was talking about. Bill Cosby stated the problem. And then he gave you the results. And then he gave you a solution. All she has is insults and excuses as to why the community is in the dirt. No accountability. But this is what they're telling you are the black minds that we need to revere and that we need to follow. Again, I don't think she did this with malicious intent, but at the same time, she's wrong.
Do the very best that I could do. Don't tell me about some tennis shoes. Why is it that poor kids have to wear Keyz and everybody else can wear Michael Jordans? No, you don't send your kid out. Nobody in this room that has a kid. You know, we all did exactly what we could do.
So first of all, what do you mean we are the only ones that wear Jordan, especially when they first came out? We had them. The white kids and the other kids in the suburbs were wearing Keyz. They were wearing Keyz and Chuck Taylors and shit. Let me tell you something. My kids go to private school, right? I refuse to send them to public school, right? As long as I can afford it, I'm sending their ass to private school, okay? None of these kids in this school care about the tennis shoes they wear or care about designer clothes on their back. These kids get enjoyment out of going camping, fishing, shit like that. Their parents instill the necessity of family into them. Now, when they get older, they may want to get designer stuff, who knows? But for the most part, most of these kids grow up and they carry on the traditions of their parents. Nobody's thinking about a pair of Jordans. Like my daughter had a birthday party and she had a Lululemon hoodie on, right? And she thought she was so fly with this Lululemon hoodie on, right? Them little girls in her class had no idea what Lululemon was. And I told her, I said, you showing off and you doing all this for nothing. These kids don't care. Lululemon ain't. It's workout clothes. But you know, these kids think it's something. But you get around other communities, they don't care about designer clothes. It's not instilled in them that they need to be fashion forward from a young age. But anyway, let's go. Let's finish this video out.
And maybe it wasn't what other people could do. When everybody got bikes, I didn't have a Schwinn, but my mother got me a bike somehow. And I didn't ask her because it's none of my business. And she's gone and I can't, but it isn't. But what kind of person would I be that every kid has a bike and the black kids have to have skates? Every kid has a leather jacket and the black kids have to have cloth. You go out and you do what you can for your kids. You're not against your children. What the hell is he talking about? They should buy hooked on phonics because he doesn't understand what they're saying. He needs to listen. Park your limousine.
Now, do y'all hear this shit? Do y'all hear this? The things that Bill Cosby addressed once again in this speech are real live solutions and observations that black folks could recognize and correct and would actually be in a better state than what they are now had they implemented the things that he was saying. And this lady is talking about the importance of buying your kids material things like Jordans and expensive bicycles. First off, if you can't afford these kids, then maybe you shouldn't be out here going sushi in the first place. Use a rubber. Use a rubber. But anyways, keeping your kid in designer clothes does absolutely nothing for them in the grand scheme of life. And it's only black folks, by way of being raised by primarily women that prioritize shit like that, that do it. Now, when it comes down to addressing the issues with the education, she totally dismisses his valid concern and combats that with an insult. So once again, no disrespect, condolences to Nikki Giovanni and her family. This wasn't intended to disrespect her in any way, shape, or form. This was instead a learning opportunity. Because you gotta see where you went wrong if you ever wanna move forward. Oh shit, and I almost forgot. All the trash this woman talked about the white man calling her a honky and a cracker, right? All that shit she talked about him back in the day. She turned around and then endorsed Joe Biden in 2020. Despite all the racist shit he's done on the record, and then she endorsed Kamala Harris. Now, interestingly enough, Nikki Giovanni and Nina Simone, I don't know if you guys know who Nina Simone is, but she's a historic black woman singer. Nina Simone, her and Nina Simone were very good friends. Now, do you know who was responsible for Nina Simone's family losing her entire estate? Do you know who was responsible for that? That's right, cackling Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris' crooked DA's office screwed Nina Simone's family over royally, and no one ever even talks about it. But this is supposed to be her friend. Anyways, y'all get the point. Rest in peace, Miss Nikki Giovanni. Condolences to you and your family.
Got it bumping.